Are you still pouring your time into building apps for Gen Z gamers who literally have zero purchasing power? What if I told you the most profitable startup opportunities right now are actually hiding in plain sight? Today, in this explainer, we're extracting the exact highly lucrative blueprints for non-obvious business models straight from a brilliant strategy breakdown between founders Greg Isenberg and Jonathan Courtney. Seriously, think about it. Why chase a saturated market with no money when the actual cash flow is moving directly toward bored 50-year-olds, lonely dads, and established entrepreneurs? Let's unpack the hard numbers from their conversation and see exactly where the capital is moving. It's a stark operational contrast. On one side, you've got these saturated bloodbaths, right? Hyper-polished business podcasts and traditional human-dependent apps fighting tooth and nail over broke users. But on the flip side, you have highly lucrative, entirely untapped niches. We're talking unscripted Twitch-style streams and elder tech designed specifically for the 65-plus demographic. Section 1, high-value unscripted media. Let's get into it. $100 million. That is the exact sales price of TBPN, a business-focused tech streaming network. It absolutely proved that high-value professional audiences actively crave unscripted gaming-style live streams. The market is putting a massive premium on that kind of highly engaged attention. But how does this scale down to an individual creator? Well, the beauty is you don't need millions of followers. Their unscripted media blueprint reveals that a tiny, hyper-loyal audience of just 1,000 to 2,000 viewers tuning in weekly can generate between 400,000 and 500,000 euros annually. And when you stack on Patreon subscriptions, these creators are pulling in $70,000 to $100,000 every single month, purely through in-person events, merch, and direct community support. Section 2. Anti-loneliness community ventures. 22%. That means almost a quarter of Americans have less than one close friend. Obviously, that's a profound societal issue, but operationally speaking, it frames a massive business opportunity. There is a huge market for creating paid, curated communities that basically force real, authentic human connection. And if you want exact proof of that demand, just look at the number 13,898. That is the exact membership count of the Dads of Marathon Discord group. It's this hyper-niche, incredibly specific digital community for adult men playing one specific video game. Because, they just don't have the time for hyper-competitive gaming anymore. It just proves that if you build a specific digital space for adults craving connection, the demand is going to be explosive. Let's break down the exact math of taking that connection offline and into the real world. Consider the monetization model of a 5-day off-the-grid painting retreat. It costs $90,000 to run, but it generated $110,000 in revenue in just a single weekend. How'd they pull that off? By pricing tickets at $7,000 to $8,000 a pop and exclusively targeting established entrepreneurs who are just desperate to disconnect from their screens and rediscover a hobby. And this concept scales right into local infrastructure, too. Just look at the hard metrics from a company called Fabric. They are hosting over 75 monthly gatherings in these massive 5,000 to 10,000 square foot spaces, all for 500 paid members. Or take another company, 222. They curate hyper-niche 5 to 7 person events, think salsa nights or cowboy hat dinners, and they match people up purely based on personality tests. It's kind of wild to think about, but people are literally paying a premium subscription just to be organized into a room with other humans. All right, Section 3, Vertical AI Junior Employees. The target metric you need to focus on here is $5,000. That is the monthly retainer value you can command right now for selling AI junior employees. You see, you aren't just selling software anymore. You're selling an agent that handles 50 specific jobs to be done for a very specific role. For example, a digital YouTube producer that automatically generates your chapters, sorts your clips, and preps all your assets. Because you're pricing it as a fraction of a real human salary, it becomes an absolute no-brainer B2B sale. We are in the middle of a massive shift in user experience. Think about it. Traditional SaaS models are totally human-dependent. They literally force a human to log in, click a bunch of buttons, and do all the heavy lifting. But these new action apps, they are agent-first. They execute 80% of your workflows completely autonomously in the background. Imagine an email app that doesn't just display an inbox, but actually drafts and replies to 80% of your routine messages automatically. That right there is the future of mobile. Moving on to Section 4, untapped niche health markets. $60 million. That is the exact number of Americans suffering from GERD, which is a really painful acid reflux condition. And this perfectly illustrates why those broad, generic health apps usually fail. Look, when 60 million people have a specific, agonizing condition, they don't want another generic calorie tracker. They want a hyper-verticalized AI solution that acts as a dedicated central brain for their specific gut health, aggregating all their blood work and symptoms in one place. Blueprinting this data even further, we uncover these massive parallel opportunities. You've got 70 million US boomers who desperately need elder tech to assist with memory and mobility, but without feeling patronized. You have Zoe's DNA microbiome testing model, which creates highly personalized nutrition feedback. And whatever you do, do not ignore the $140 billion pet industry. People literally treat their dogs like royalty, which is creating this massive market for things like $30 AI brain hardware attachments for collars and hyper-targeted pet longevity supplements. Section 5. Time for the mandatory core recap. Let's rapid-fire the exact facts we just extracted. The $100 million TBPN unscripted media sale, 13,898 dads of Marathon Discord members proving explosive hyper-niche demand, a 22% friendless rate in America driving the entire loneliness economy, $110,000 in revenue from a single IRL entrepreneur retreat, $5,000 monthly retainers for vertical AI junior employees, and finally, the $140 billion pet health market just begging for AI integration. So, what is today's takeaway? The one-sentence underlying logic you need to remember is this: date the product, but marry a niche with deep pain points and high disposable income. Aiming your solutions at bored 50-year-olds and established entrepreneurs is going to yield a vastly higher return on investment than targeting broke teenagers in saturated consumer markets. Now, I'm passing the mic to you. If you were to replicate one of these exact projects today, what is your very first step? Open up the comments below, leave your exact step 1 project plan, and let's help you avoid the major pitfalls before you even start building. Seriously, don't just consume this passively. Take action. Drop that comment right now to trigger our system, and we'll send you the complete project blueprint and the operational tool list derived from today's explainer. Go find your high-value niche and start building.